cannot rip this smile off my face right now. This is crazy. Hi everyone, and welcome to the By Faith podcast, where we walk by faith and not by sight. My name is Kyia, and I'm your host for today's episode. And you guys, am I just so excited for this week's episode, because I am sharing with you my race recap. We are talking all things Chicago Marathon. I'm going to talk about, the things that I did pre-race the night before, and I'm going to talk about the race, really break it down, and then also kind of a little bit of a look into my post-race recovery, and then just some really cool, awesome experiences that happened. Before I even start, I think I want to share with you my biggest takeaway. I think if I were to take one thing away from Chicago Marathon, it would be, I feel like this is just the beginning for me, and I don't know why, but I just have this, the word when I'm thinking of, what was my biggest takeaway from this race? It was beginning. The word beginning just keeps popping up for me. I truly had the absolute time of my life. I could not shake my smile every single mile. 26.2 miles, 3 hours and 7 minutes of just smiles, some happy tears, of course, some discomfort and pain, but man, I just felt so overjoyed. Like, I never had more fun running than I did that day. And so if you kind of listen to what my training block has been like from my past episodes, you would know that this training block, Chicago Marathon training block, pulled and pushed me and drew me, and it was just the hardest race, or the hardest training block ever. I have no idea why. I had no motivation to run. Every single run, even the super easy 4-mile runs, were so insanely hard. It took so much out of me. I was so just beat. I was I don't even want to run anymore. I just want to get this race over with. I hate this race. I never want to look at do it. I'm just so over it. I'm burnt out. I'm done. And so then when I go to Chicago Marathon, I had zero expectations, okay? I told myself, you're going to go based on effort, just have fun. Do not keep checking your watch and looking and see what pace you're at or what time you're going for. Your wedding is basically tomorrow, so we're not going to do anything crazy, number one. But number two, just enjoy, right? This is your first major marathon. Just be there, be present, enjoy. Your training was so horrible. You got all the workouts done, but it was so not fun. Just enjoy the race. And that's really kind of what I went into. But also just know, if you really know me, then you know that I don't just I can't half-ass something, right? I have to give something my all. But I also am a little competitive, and I also wanted to push myself. I knew that I didn't want to just show up to race day and get through all of the hard work and just glide through and just la-di-da-di-da. It's no, I trained so hard for it, and I had to push through, and it was so tough and not fun. So I really wanted to hone in on just showing up, pushing myself. I even told every single person, even Jake, I said, I'm going party pace. Our wedding is literally tomorrow. I'm going party pace. But I secretly had this goal that I wanted to Boston qualify. No matter what, I was at least I just want to Boston qualify. And that's 3 hours, 25 minutes for my time. But I also wanted to have myself a little buffer. So I was around 3:20, I will be so happy. We're good. I'll be happy with a 3:20. Understanding the circumstances and everything like that. But I had an amazing carb load. I carb loaded 3 days prior to the race, and I was just shoving my face with carbs. Jake and I filmed a YouTube video for that, and so I'll post that too soon, of all the carb sources that I ate. And then I did a 3-day carb load, and then I get to Chicago Friday night, late night, and on Saturday I had a shakeout run with On, and it was literally less than a mile away from my bestie Taylor. She moved to Chicago, and I was like, okay, perfect. When I land, I'll stay at Taylor's place. So Olivia also flew out to see Taylor and I and cheer me on. And so she met me at the airport right when we landed. We Ubered on over to Taylor, slept the night at Taylor's, and then I went to my shakeout run with On. I did 3 mile shakeout, like 7:30, 8-minute mile pace. And I was like feeling really good. Like the legs felt fresh. I didn't feel out of breath. It was like I was like, okay, like I feel oddly too good to be true. So then after the shakeout, we went to the expo. After the expo, I came back to the hotel, showered, and then I actually have family in Chicago, so we met up with some of my family in the suburbs and had a little barbecue, hung out. And then after that, I was like, I want to get home early, so I got back to the hotel like before 8 p.m., which was fantabulous. And I got everything all situated, laid it all out, and went to bed, had a great night's sleep. I woke up at 4:45 and it was race morning. I woke up feeling just excited and overjoyed, which was like not like my training block. So I was kind of surprised, but I was like, okay, we're rolling with it. Like I feel good. Okay, let's just go on with it. And so I wake up, I get ready and have my breakfast, had a bowel movement, praise Jesus. I know, so TMI, but like if you know, you know. And then my hotel was walking distance to the start line. And I walk over to the start line and on the way there, I meet this man named Alex from Scotland. And it's fun because world majors, they just bring everybody together, right? Like from all different places, all different walks of life. You have the moms, you have the younger kids, you have people from the States, then you have people from Scotland, you have people from Japan, Korea, like everywhere. And it's fun because I'm like, walking, and as I'm walking, I was like wanting to say hi to people, but I was like, I don't really know if they speak English, so I was kind of waiting for them to like say something first. But this guy Alex looks over at me and he's like, are you nervous? But he said it in his like accent, which I can't do, and I was like, kind of like, a little. What about you? He goes, and he was running, I want to say, his 5th major, and he was going for a 2:32 or like a 2:34, I forget. And he's ran every single major thus far at sub 3. So he has 2 more majors to go, and he wants to run all of them sub 3. And so we chatted for a while, and he's like, take a picture of my bib so you can track me and all that stuff. So that was really sweet. And then I get to my corral. I was in corral E, which I was kind of bummed about because there's the pros, and then it goes corral A, B, C, D, E. And I was like, I wish I was in an earlier corral so that I didn't have to like keep weaving in and out of people, because people would literally just like stop right in front of you and you'd have to like swerve out of the way, or like the person in front of you is not going fast enough, so you have to like find a way to like get through people. And that was like kind of a bug, and then you end up running more than 26.2, so it's like super annoying. But other than that, it was fine. I started at the front of my corral because I was like, I don't want to be in the back and like be stuck. And I actually got there early enough to where there was like barely, like there was enough people in the front that I could like squeeze my way through. And so I started at the front of my corral, and I see this one girl out of the corner of my eye in like a bright neon outfit. And so I was like, okay, she looks pretty like solid, like fast. And I'm like, I'm just gonna, my thing was, I'm not going to check paces, I'm not going to check for time, but I do want to know like how fast I'm kind of going or how slow I'm going. And so I was like, just find somebody at the start that's starting at the same exact time as you, and then kind of like not keep up with them, but like just like see like if they're like a solid pace, if they look solid, and then maybe run with them, so then you're at a consistent split and like you don't like go too fast, don't go too slow, because I suck at pacing and all that stuff. So I see this one girl, and she's running, and I think around mile like 15, maybe 9. That's such a jump. It's either mile 9 or 15. But I look over to her and I go, what time like are you going for? What's your pace? And she's like, I'm gonna go for like 3:10ish. And I'm like, okay, cool, like that sounds pretty good to me. Like we're already rocking this pace for a while, and I felt really good. Like miles 1 to like, I want to say like 10, I was solid. Like I was like, I'm locked in, I feel fire, like this is amazing. Mile 1 was unbelievable, because as I'm running down, I look behind me at all the other corrals that were waiting, because like there was corrals all the way up to like corral M or even passed. So there's like so many people, so many crowds, over like 53,000 runners. And I look back behind me, you just see the sea of people just getting ready to take on this giant of a marathon. And it was just like so surreal. And anyway, one thing about Chicago too is like your GPS isn't really that accurate in the beginning of the race because there's everybody around you. It's not accurate. That's what everyone says. And I didn't manually like lap my miles every time I saw like a mile marker. So I had really no idea how fast I was going or how slow I was going. And she said, okay, I'm going 3:10ish. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like that's kind of like where I'm at, like what I wanted to like aim for if I'm feeling really good. And so I lost her for a while, and then I get a tap on my shoulder, and she's like, hey, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And so we finished together, and it was really sweet. And she's like 39 years old and a mom of two, just repping like some miles in the 6 minutes like it's nothing. Like she was solid so fast the entire time. I do want to say that I think around like mile 15 to like 18, I was like, okay, like I'm a little bit in the pain cave, but I told myself if I just keep a smile on my face, I'm going to be okay. My mantra was, my mind leads, my body follows. And so I told myself, your mind is going to lead. If you think happy thoughts and you don't let yourself experience the depth of the pain cave, your body's going to follow. And so I was like, okay. So I just kept smiling. Every time I got like, kind of like I had a blister, like a huge blister at the bottom of my foot. And every time I was like in pain or like in discomfort, my knee was kind of acting up, I would just smile, because you also understand this is a world major. So there is like thousands and thousands and thousands of people just lining the streets for 26 miles. There was not a mile that was empty. Every single mile I heard screams, shouts, and they let it all out. Like it was so awesome. And all the cool, awesome signs by Nike and all the fun signs that people were carrying. I mean, it truly was like the energy, the atmosphere was electric. Like that's what they say about Chicago Marathon. And it lived up to it and some. Like it was unbelievable. Anyway, so all that to say, I'm like, every time I'm in the pain cave, I'm like, oh, this hurts. I just force a smile. And my biggest thing is what helps me is if I see somebody who's like about to start walking or like kind of struggling, I look at them like, hey, you got this. You didn't come this far to only come this far. And I'll just like cheer on people as I'm passing. And it makes me like, it gives me this power boost, and it helps me so much, because I'm also like kind of saying it to myself. Let's be real. Like I'm mostly just saying this to myself, but saying it out loud to somebody else, I don't know why. I don't know what that science is, but it helped so much. So so mile 18, I told myself from mile 18, I had a feeling that like the crowd was just going to be insane all the way to mile 26, because it's like the tail end of the race. They know, like a lot of people like to see like kind of the end. I knew nobody could get, like unless you're like a VIP or like had something special, whatever, kids like see the 26.2 miles. So I knew from mile 18 to mile 26, it's just going to be lined with people. Like there's just going to be a crowd of people. And so I said, just interact with the crowd and just like look up, like be present, take your mind off of, what's going on in your body. And I did exactly that. I told myself, just get to mile 18, you're good. And I got to mile 18, and I mean, there was just people after people, confetti and people just screaming, and it was just like the most unbelievable, insane, awesome thing. The bummer about Chicago Marathon, the course, is you run like mile 22, you're running, and you could see on the other side of the road mile 24. So like you run past mile 23, and then you turn, and then you hit mile 24, so you can like see that of like people already just like finishing, and you're like, bro, this sucks. So I told myself, don't even look, just like focus on you, just have fun, like just smile. And I truly did exactly that. I only can say the most positive things about Chicago Marathon. My mental was strong the entire time. I really clung on to when I am weak, he is strong. His strength will sustain me. I told myself that I knew that when the marathon got hard and that when I felt pain, that's when the Lord would jump in, and that's when his strength would actually sustain me. And it felt like I kind of had like a secret advantage in a way, that I had the Lord to come alongside me and to be by my side as I as I became weak and as I became tired and as I became gassed, his strength is exactly what sustained me. I remember crossing the finish line, and the only thing I could say is, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus, because it truly is his strength that has ever gotten me and that ever will get me through 26.2 miles. I truly don't understand how people do it without the Lord's strength, because I certainly am not that strong. And I don't know. It just was like the coolest thing. And so I crossed the finish line, and Chicago Marathon, for some reason, has you walk a mile after you run this marathon, and they call it the 27th mile party. And then you have to go walk a mile to go meet your family. So at the 27th mile party, you meet your family. And I'm like, I think I might need a wheelchair. I don't know why. My legs were like shaking, and I was like, oh my gosh, I might go down. And I remember calling Jake right when I finished. I was like, Jake, I just finished. And he was on his way to church, and we had a moment. And so it was really sweet. But I mean, I could only say the most positive things about Chicago Marathon. I do want to talk a little bit about taper week. So that's the week before the race. And the week before the race, you are deloading, right? Like, you are letting your legs rest. You're letting them get fresh. You're eating a bunch of carbs. You are just relaxing. And a lot of people have what they call the taper tantrums. For me, I was very excited to taper, but I did have an itch to run, of course. I love running no matter what. I love it. I just do. But I didn't have the taper tantrums that bad. But during taper, it's like a thing, and let me phone you in if you're not a runner, that you will have like random aches and pains, and then like your brain is like, oh my gosh, you're gonna be injured on race day. Oh my gosh, all this training, you did too much. Oh my gosh, you did too little. And your mind is just like going crazy, and you read into like every single little thing. Exactly what happened to me. But taper went really great. I truly did, like, the most mileage I did during taper week was the very beginning of the week, and I think it was like 4 easy miles. Like, it was not like anything that was crazy or anything like that. But to go in more detail of my morning routine on race day morning, I remember I woke up at 4:45, and I immediately got up, ate breakfast, drank my Celsius, and started reading my Bible. Like, that was the first thing I did, because I wanted, first of all, my Celsius helps me go number 2, and then also I wanted to put the Lord first and not do anything without reading my Bible first. And so, and definitely wanted to get carbs in. I remember my breakfast was a Go Macro bar. It wasn't like too heavy, but it wasn't too light. Like, it had a good amount of like energy that I needed in that. And then I also was like, okay, I'll have a banana if I also feel like I need it, but I also didn't want to be too full and then have tummy troubles. So like, you have to be so careful on race day, because like any kind of tummy troubles, you don't want to poop your pants or wait in the porta potty lines. So I was very careful, and had to go macro bar with my Celsius, read my Bible, had a bowel movement, and then I got ready, did my makeup, brushed my teeth, all that kind of good stuff, and then put my clothes on. That was the last thing I did, and put my shoes on, and then made sure I had everything. I did not want to do bag check, mainly because my family was also going to meet me at the 27th mile party, so if anything I needed, I could have told them to bring, and I didn't want to wait in the line. There was really nothing that I wanted to have in my bag. I did not see a point. I never do bag check. I just never see a point in bag check for me personally. But on race morning, you wear like sweatpants and a sweatshirt and like a long sleeve that you don't care about, and then you can just like toss and like throw as giveaway, and they all like give it to Salvation Army and stuff. And so I had my throwaway clothes, and I was off, and I walked, and that was race morning. That was like my morning routine. It is the same every single time. It was like tried and true. Every morning, like, I go on a run, I eat breakfast right when I wake up, I have my Celsius, and I read my Bible all at the same time. And it is a recipe of, I have mastered it. It's taken months and months and months, but I mean, there was nothing in the whole wide world different about my morning routine that I did on race morning. So, in regards to, family and friends that came out and supported me, it's so funny because this was the first marathon that I had to fly out of state for. I did Mount Charleston, that was in Nevada, and that was a 4-hour drive. Okay, I wanted to drive that, wanted a car, but this was the first time that I really had to fly somewhere, and it was the marathon that I had the most people going to. I had my besties Taylor and Olivia. They met me at mile 4 and 11, and then at the end I had my grandparents, and then I had my parents. And so I had a lot of love and support cheering me on all throughout, and it was just like really perfect, really sweet. We also got to honor my great grandmother Nana, I call her, or Myrna Crute. I call her Myrna. I would call her and go, "Hi, Myrn." And so Myrn was passed away almost a year ago, and her headstone got placed. She has family and stuff in Chicago, and she wanted to be buried in Chicago by her mom and dad, and so we honored her. Her headstone was placed, and we had a little ceremony there for her all in the same weekend, so that was really sweet as well. It was emotional but productive kind of trip. Got to see other family and friends, and so that was really, really sweet. If I were to take away, looking back at this training block and this race as a whole, and I reflect on the meaning behind all of this and what I've learned spiritually and physically and everything like that, I would say, first of all, that God has it all figured out, right? Like, I had no idea how race was going to go, and I was so nervous. Like, I was shaking, like, literally so anxious, but the Lord had it all figured out. And just because I had a horrible training block does not equal a horrible race by any means. And also, just when you do it with God, it's different, and it's better, and it's greater, and it's far more bigger than you could ever think or imagine. I'm running Tokyo in March 1st during Jake and I's honeymoon, and then I'm running Boston Marathon, and I already have 3 majors that I will have by the end of 2026, and then I also applied for Sydney Marathon, but we'll see if I get in, who knows. And I honestly, I think I should talk about the majors. Okay, what does the majors mean? I keep saying that, and I understand that some people who aren't runners don't understand what I'm saying. So there are 7 now. There were 6, but there are 7 now world major marathons, and so they are, the biggest, like some of the biggest races, a lot of like the hardest ones to get into, right? So Boston, you can only get into Boston by qualifying or charity, and charity bibs are like 10 grand, right? Like you have to raise so much money. Then I don't know. At the end of all 7, if you complete all 7 marathons, of the world majors, you get this really cool medal. It sounds so lame, but it actually is really cool, and it has like a little emblem of all the cities and places that you've been to and that the marathons that you completed, and it's really cool. You're probably thinking like, you're such a nerd, you're so weird. No, but like, it actually is really cool. So the 7 majors are Chicago, New York, Berlin, London, Tokyo, Boston, and Sydney. Those are the 7 major marathons, and so far I have Chicago, and then I'll do Boston and Tokyo, and New York, London, and Berlin are going to be tough, but and then I applied for Sydney, so we'll see what happens. I have no idea. We will see. I just think it's so cool, all the places that running will take you. Like, if you would have told me 5 years ago that I would be traveling and going to different countries and different states to run marathons, I would have literally thought you were crazy and couldn't stop laughing. So it's just so cool. God is so good. I love running. I love this sport and everything that it brings. I can't even tell you, just like seeing like strangers cheering on strangers, a community being brought together. I just love running so much. It has changed me, and it's changed my life for the best, in the best way possible. Like, I can't say enough great things about running. It's truly changed my whole life. I look at running as a metaphor of life and a metaphor for my walk with Jesus, right? So for example, this is the way I see running, okay? It's like, it's a metaphor for my walk with Jesus and our spiritual journey, right? And so sometimes you get on a runner's high, and you and God are like on it. You guys are awesome. Like, you feel like you're just getting blessing and you are awesome. Sometimes you're injured and you're in this waiting season. You can't, there is no place to move just yet. you're trying to recover and you're trying to do all of the things to nurture your relationship with the Lord and trying to hear from God, trying to get better and better and better. But then all it takes is a miracle. And then you get to the finish line and you get what you've received and you've gotten your promise and you've hit the promised land and you've completed the race, right? And what you've been waiting for is finally here and it feels so good and all this stuff. I mean, there's just like, it's truly like a metaphor of life. There's ups and downs, ebb and flows, pause and goes and everything like that. I truly think that running a marathon will change your life. And also knowing too, for instance, Jake, he is going to start training for a marathon. And I just am so excited. This is an answered prayer to have the person I love the most, come into my world of what I love the most. Running is just going to be so much fun. And him and a few buddies, I'm going to train them and train them for a marathon. And knowing, and I'm trying to explain to him, like, in the beginning, it's gonna suck. It's not fun. Like you see me now and you're like, I'm like, I love running's so awesome. I had the best race of my life. But no, like what everybody else didn't see was the 3 a.m. wake up calls and driving 2 hours to go run, or being injured and then having a stomach problem and then having to like pile food into your mouth just so you can recover, and the not so great nights of sleep, and then sleeping 3 hours, and all of the super not so glamorous things about running that exists too. And especially when you're starting out, that is so prevalent, right? And that's why I think so many people quit or just like don't follow through, is because it's not fun, it's not glamorous, and they haven't reached the other side. And I just posted something on Instagram that saying consistent is truly the best thing that I have ever done for myself, that I was able to stay with a craft and stay with it, get to the other side of running, because now I just enjoy its fruit because I love it so much. And of course, yes, it's still hard. Of course, running a marathon is hard no matter what. There's going to be pain. It's not going to be fun. But also too, that I just find so much joy in it, that I just like, I could cry at the thought of how much running has truly changed my life from the inside out. And I truly feel so blessed and honored to have met some really awesome people through the sport of running, because it is that powerful and that life-changing and that good. And so I think my encouragement for you is not to convince you to run a marathon, but that you would be open and experience what I experience, right? Like, marathon or not, just like get out, move your body. It is so powerful. It feels so good. Sometimes it hurts and it's not that most fun, but it's I don't know. I love it so much, and I want other people to feel this because I love it and it's changed my life. I'm like, I want everyone to feel this like peace and joy and happiness and love. It's too good for me to just feel like I want to share it with the room. And so that's truly how I feel about running. But I love you guys. That's truly my race recap. I had a great experience. Not every race is going to be like that, but man, Chicago Marathon, you were incredible. You were the best race I have ever had. Truly the most fun I've ever had. So I just want to say I love you guys. I hope that you have the most bestest week in the whole wide world. Okay. I love you. Bye. Thank you guys so much for listening. Tune into the next episode. And while you're at it, leave a rating and review to boost the podcast algorithm to ensure that we grow organically. I love you guys so much. Have the best day ever.